say those things, and all of things come to me as a fire hydrant sometimes, and so you both can just slap me to get my noodles straight. I have noodles all the time, but Natalie has a grace for that. Natalie absolutely has a grace for that, and when we say grace, we don't mean like it's not wimpy. Grace is an empowerment.
Right.
Great, and you talk about that for just a little bit, because I mean you have poured that over me over the past few months, and it's just been so rich.
Well, it's very important to know that there is grace for every need. Everything that you're going to go through, the grace is already there.
Yeah.
There's no lack in grace, and there's a lot of preaching about grace. That God lets you slide because of His grace. That's not exactly what I see in grace. I see God strengthening me to make it through because of His grace. And one of the things, my mother moments, when my mother had spoken to me, is that you don't have grace for a bridge that you don't have to cross. When someone else is in the midst of a fire and you're looking at it and you're saying, how in the world, what will we do? How could I do that? You don't have the grace to go there. But that person, if they trust the Lord, will have the grace to go there. If you try to cross that bridge, handle that journey, do that trial in yourself because someone else is going through it, you will surely fail, and Satan will have ammunition against you. Because he will see your weakness, because at that point in time, you don't have the grace to go through it. But what your task is, what your journey is, where you're headed through, the car's packed.
No, I love that.
It's got what you need.
I love that.
If you follow where the Lord is directing you and you stay on the highway that the Lord tells you to stay on, you are not going to need a generator, because you're not going to go through a town that doesn't have power. You're going to go through a town that is provided for. You won't need an ice pack to keep your food in, because you're going to get there on time, because you're following God's provision and God's task. However, if you decide to go off the beaten path and travel someone else's journey, then you don't have the grace to go through it, and you don't have your car packed for that journey. Right. You're headed to the beach when the Lord has put the stuff in the car, so you've got what you need. If you take the wrong turn, you're going to head to the desert or to the mountains, and what's in your car ain't going to work.
Right. To the belly of the whale.
There you go. So the grace of God is all sufficient. Why? Because He knows where you're going.
Yeah.
And you have the grace of God to get there.
Right.
That's the way I see grace.
Right.
Yes, His grace saved me. I am saved by His grace.
No, it didn't just stop there.
But it didn't stop there.
Yeah. I looking at grace as an empowerment gives grace the strength
Absolutely.
that it should have.
Yes.
Because what what the Lord has, Jesus Christ is grace.
Yes.
But when we are in Christ, all of our needs are met according to His riches and glory. We have all wisdom. We have no lack. It is truly His strength in us. And so I want us to view grace as an empowerment, as the empowerment that it is.
So when someone says you are a graceful woman,
Powerful.
flex your muscles.
Yeah, flex. Please, we have got to write her. No, we just have got to write a book about Mom. All of that in saying, I don't have grace for Natalie's ministry. I do not have the grace for Natalie's ministry. But she does. And so where I look at her and I'm like, you're doing too much. You stretch yourself too thin. Why are you doing that? Da-da-da-da-da. All the things, because as I tell she might as well be a nanny, but the young girl who helps me with my children, usually when I take her home, I say, well, now you know that I have a way to tell people to do their jobs better. I am full of ways to tell people how to do it better. And as God is my witness, I am trying to stop. Or I'm trying to only tell myself those things.
So that's when I tell her, this is our side commentary, that she has overcooked her noodles.
Yeah.
Because, that I have no problem with noodles. I'm just ADD enough to follow it. But when you keep trying to find a better and a better way for one thing, at a certain point in time, they become overcooked.
Stop.
And then you just got to throw that whole batch out.
Stop it. They're just sloppy and they get messy. And
Well, how often do we have to take a deep breath and say, Oh yeah, God's in charge of this.
Oh my.
I've told you just recently when we talk about the word, I probably just found that out.
Yeah.
That, he's in charge of this, and bless my heart when I let him alone and let him be God, sovereign,
Yeah.
faster, easier. That's like when Natalie said a while ago, it's not hard to do what the Lord lays on your heart to do.
Right.
It's not hard to do it. You're the one that makes it hard.
Yeah.
Suppose you can't make the best lasagna in town. They don't care. If somebody's hungry and got 4 kids to feed, they could care less if it's the best in town. They just need it.
Yeah.
So stop comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
Stop saying, well, if it were so-and-so, she would do such and such. You can't do that. You do what God tells you to do. Because what he tells you to do, and you are the best to do it.
Right.